upcoming session is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, Uniphore. Coming up next is the industry keynote presentation presented by Mr. Gokul Gopalakrishnan, who is the Vice President and Business Head, Asia at Uniphore. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Gokul Gopalakrishnan.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me here. So that I don't have any withdrawal symptoms, I got to ask you the 3 questions I've been asking the last 2 years, right? Can you guys see me? Can you guys see my presentation? Am I on mute? You guys have to answer that. Otherwise, it's a big withdrawal symptom for me if I don't hear you guys answer that. All right? So I hope you guys can see me. That's a given. Hope you can hear me and you can see my presentation. Exciting times. This is as exciting a time as you can have in Uniphore, where we have been in. We talked about it, I think, in the opening session. You saw some videos which talked about our growth, the tremendous growth that we have been having in the last few years, capped by the announcement that happened a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how many of you saw that. Currently valued at $2.5 billion with our Series C funding of $400 million. More than the money, it is the faith that the industry has on Uniphore. What is that we do? What is that we are capable of? And it's interesting, exciting times as we move forward. Tremendous growth opportunity, and I'll talk about what has driven that growth, what is that's really propelled some of the conversations that we have. We are a conversation company, absolute conversations, that's what we are. Voice is a part of conversation, right? What I'm doing right now is conversation. What a healthcare expert, a doctor does with his or her patient is conversation. What a teacher does with a student is conversation. What a salesperson calls up and talks with the customer, that is conversation. Could be voice, could be on any of the channels, could be on video, and you will talk about all of that is where we are getting to, and that really is what has defined us, what has driven our piece of it. Conversational AI, but this is conversations across the board, across any conversation between 2 humans and maybe more in the future as well. All right? Really what you can see some of the logos out there, a global company, incubated out of India, made in India, driven to the world. Absolutely live up to that. Incubated out of IIT Chennai almost 13, 14 years ago, grew significantly globally, and now across almost every geography you can think about, which is very critical in a conversations world when you look at the complexities of language, complexities of accents, complexities of behavior, right? I used to be in the US, stayed quite long there. You know that when Midwest folks in the US get angry, they don't yell. Their actually volumes go down. That's a big learning. So just because people yell, their voice goes up, does not mean they're angry. In Midwest, it actually goes down. So those are the kind of nuances that you need to look at when you look at a global company, when you look at global installs, and when you look at a global customer base. Some of the key pieces there, of course, being that we are growing at a very fast pace today at 900 employees. When I joined 3 years ago, we were at 100, just about touching 100. That shows the maturity, that shows us the way we have been growing. Let's quickly get into what we do. We have what's called the conversational automation platform. As I said, conversations come in different kinds, different sizes, different shapes. When you look at the rightmost, in your leftmost, my rightmost, the first point of contact for any conversation in a contact center world, and I'll talk about contact center and where we are evolving into right away, but this set of platform that you see here is for front-end contact center automation. The first piece that you see here is the conversational AI, the traditional voice bot, the chat bot, any kind of bot across multiple channels. That's the rightmost piece that you see there, which is the conversational AI or the bot piece itself, or autopilot in that sense, right? Where it's all done automatically by the machine itself. But we all know that those kind of conversations rarely happen. You really cannot contain any of the conversations into a bot, which is where it gets transferred to an agent in a contact center setup, which is where you see our UTrust and our UAssist solutions. UTrust is our voice biometric solution, but for the agent side. You will hear about voice biometrics all the time on the customer side, especially in the BFSI segment, where customers are authenticated based on passive or active listening. But for the first time, this is on the agent side. This was triggered primarily by COVID, where agents were now sitting in their homes, in their own neighborhood, and not really in the security of their own premises, which was a big, big security liability issue. In Philippines, one of our customers had their agents, instead of that authorized agent taking the call, they actually had the neighbor and the roommate take that call, which was a big security lapse. This was developed and deployed during COVID, and we expect a big, big percentage of global workforce to still work from home as well, which is where the U-Trust or the authentication, real-time authentication of the agents happen. Moving to U-Assist, that's our hero product. That's what has driven our growth globally. That's a real-time analytics solution of Uniphore, where while the agent is talking to the customer, you have in-call assistance. How is the customer sentiment? What should be the next best action? What is the next offer that needs to be given to the customer purely based on what's happening on the call? It also drives agent behavior by saying that, hey, these are the different things that you should be doing from a workflow automation perspective, which got extremely mature with our acquisition of Jakarta almost 3-4 months ago, where that automation of the entire desktop happened in the call, and the agent is now making smart decisions. Customer CSAT increases tremendously. You're also helping in sales, additional pushing through of cross-sell, upsell opportunities. All of that happen in call. But where we have driven automation primarily is what we call the after-call work. Again, very, very mature. One of the very few companies in the world that does it is because we are listening in on the call, we are able to go and summarize the entire conversation, provide an approach to the agent saying that, hey, this is what happened, what are the next steps with a backend RPA of our own, or we integrate with other RPAs, where the entire workflow that needs to happen after the call is triggered purely by the customer utterances or what the agent has to do. Saves almost close to 20-25% of the overall HT of the call, leading to tremendous savings, and more importantly, getting a whole lot of consistency in the way the entire process workflow happens. That is the U-Assist or the real-time product, which is what has driven in healthcare, again, in an Indian context, has driven a lot of revenue cycle management opportunities, has gone and for the largest 2 telcos that you saw in the previous slide, deploy that for almost at scale at 15,000, 20,000 agents. So all of that happens from a assist perspective. And finally, U-Analyze is our historical speech analytics solution, which is you take the recordings, which has been there, it's been there for a lot of time, and the simplest use case is quality automation, where you can automate the entire quality function in a contact center. But what we have done is we have taken that onto the customer side for analytics, both on inbound as well as outbound. More so on outbound, because now we are not just driving bottom line savings, but increasing top line through additional sales, additional renewals, cross-sell, upsell, all those propensity models, churn propensity when it comes to telcos, all of that are now driven on the customer side, which leads to an increased top line and not so much look at bottom line. And I think the number one learning, and obviously we've been now in this industry and we have evolved significantly in a context like India, and I run the entire APAC business here at Uniphore, right? There are like 4 or 5 geographies that I run, like Indonesia, like Thailand, Vietnam, India, the low-cost places where you really can't justify an ROI for a solution purely based on removal of people, because labor is cheap, and also the technology may not give you the 3x advantage that you need for you to invest in any new technology. So for the first time, instead of looking at cost savings, which is bottom line improvement, Uniphore's deployment are on top line increment, which means additional revenue, additional business, on sales, on renewals, on any other outbound opportunities that they look like. All 4 of them are really on increased top line rather than increasing the bottom line in that perspective. So really to summarize, conversational AI, self-serve on the rightmost, UTrust is our biometrics platform, UAssist is our real-time analytics, and UAnalyze is our historical speech analytics. And all four of them on a single platform, and I'll talk quickly about it after this video to talk about what that means from a platform approach that we have and why there is, how each one of those layers learn from each other as well. So I'm just going to play this video real quickly.
We are in the era of AI-powered conversations, where 57% of customers still prefer calling and speaking to customer service agents. How can conversational AI and automation expand beyond chatbots to drive automation throughout the entire journey? Uniphore's conversational automation platform combines conversational AI, workflow automation, and RPA to drive automation, transform customer experience, and improve operational efficiencies. Meet Andrea, a premier bank customer. Uniphore's U-Self-Serve drives automation and lowers cost by deflecting calls from higher-cost agents for transactional queries, such as address change, password reset, and more. U-Self-Serve can also detect when a call should be transferred to an agent and provides them with a summary of the conversation so they can pick up from where the bot left off.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you for calling Premier Bank. I see that you're calling to dispute a charge on your account. Is that correct?
Hi, yes. I don't recognize that overdraft charge.
As a Premier customer, your overdraft fee is waived, and we will credit your account.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I think I'm good now. Thanks.
UAssist guides the agent through the conversation with alerts and next best action agent guidance based on the customer sentiment, intent, and emotion. UAssist also leverages attended RPA to drive desktop automation with knowledge base integration based on conversation. Once the call is over, UAssist summarizes critical information from the call for the agent to upload directly to CRM system, thus reducing time spent on after-call work by 50%. If promises or commitments are made during the call, UAssist registers the promises and leverages unattended RPA to fulfill them after the call. Post-interaction analytics with UAnalyze provides valuable, actionable insights on agent performance and customer sentiment to allow quality managers to review and identify coaching, as well as opportunities to optimize future interactions. In the era of working from anywhere, security is a challenge. Uniphore also builds customer trust by seamlessly authenticating agents with voice prints using UTrust. Conversations mean everything to us. Learn more at www.uniphore.com.
So that's a quick 2-minute video to capture what I talked about, what is that we are capable of. And as I said, the important piece runs on a single platform, right? All of them, conversational AI, the assist, the analyze, the trust, which means each one of them is learning from each other. One of them is feeding off the other. It is that which is what has made the platform extremely, extremely self-learning, has got that to take smart decisions by itself from a machine perspective. It learns. So for example, let's say Analyze comes and says that these are the different intents of why the customers are calling in based on historical data. That gets fed into your conversational AI, the bot side of it, to say that, all right, here are opportunities which are queries and requests and simpler requests that can be automated. That is fed back into the system. That goes back into the agent on an assist saying that these are the different reasons why the customers have called, and hence these are the ways that you need to start handling it from a next, what's the next best action perspective, feeds into assist, and then that assist goes back into analyze, and it's a continuous loop. So the platform approach that we got has been the differentiator, because you can buy the products individually, but the platform remains the same, which means that that is self-learning. That is the one that is offering the business critical needs that the customer wants. That is our platform. That is low code, no code. What we mean by that is with the acquisition of Jakarta, we got the ability for a low code, no code as well, which is when we heard a speaker talk about how quickly you can deploy these solutions. All four of them that we are talking about out there, and future products that's coming on top of the platform, can be deployed at no time. Number one, you don't need a Uniphore. You don't need skilled resources to do that. The business analyst, the contact center operations person, any of the agent supervisor or the quality agents themselves can manage the system, especially with attrition being so high. It's very difficult to have somebody manage it. You rather have your operations folks do it. So low code, no code, which pretty much means the operations and the writing and the development on all the 4 applications we talked about is simplified. Time to deliver is almost instant. And of course, with the learnings that we have from different verticals, we are able to build that. So quickly, just to quickly talk about, so quick case study. This is for a global bank that we did, and you can see the value that they've derived out of every one of them, both from a compliance perspective on the historical side of it, from a real-time perspective where sales effectiveness was significantly increased because on the call they got assistance from the end, from the system to tell them what they effectively had to do. So there's both a bottom line and the top line improvement that we talked about. But what we are most excited about is, this is our a product that we have been having now for the last 5-6 years. What has just been released, extremely thrilled and excited about this, is the true power of conversations. We all know that video is a big part of our conversations. I mean, speech is great, voice is great, chat is great, video is as effective as it gets, and we have seen that effect in the last 2 years as well. Released as late as just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, is our Q line of product that is on video and will help drive conversations, will help drive output, sales effectiveness, and you can see what's going on here.
We put the product in productive.
This is Todd, an exemplary seller in his prime. Hungry, talented, but lost in an unnatural habitat. The environment he once thrived in has been replaced by an unfamiliar world.
Hello?
The landscape has changed. The room full of smiles and handshakes has been replaced by stoic and distracted faces. Todd is overwhelmed. He can't empathize with customers the way he used to and is missing the cues.
I'm not missing cues. Am I missing cues?
This is Simon. His job is to make all his sales force a success. That means coaching, training, and enabling his team with data and resources. The messaging needs analysis. The blind spots need illuminating. Todd needs new capabilities to meet the moment. And this is Q. Well, it's Todd, obviously, but it's Todd with Q. Q is the first of its kind AI-powered tool to offer real-time sentiment and engagement analysis. This new ability to read the virtual room allows sellers to provide a more engaging and trusted buying experience for their customers. Selling in the virtual environment is not the same as in the room. Sellers need new tools to meet this moment. This is where Q for Sales can help.
This is where I can help.
Q allows sellers to get inside the mind of the customers to develop their EQ. If you can't build rapport, you can't close the deal. Verbal, tonal, and visual cues are all provided in real time with a UI that fits seamlessly into your existing tool set. Todd doesn't need yet another tool in his tech stack. He needs something that makes what he already has better. Q can provide best practices based on validated engagement and sentiment scores, helping sellers to shift customer sentiment on the fly. Todd isn't blowing his sales calls anymore.
I wasn't blowing my... Where's that voice coming from? I think it comes with the software.
I do not come with the software. I'm a narrator.
Well, you could try a little empathy next time. Maybe.
Q is an intuitive platform that is easy to learn and even easier to implement. In literally minutes from starting with Q, you can see immediate value.
What you'll notice from this product is...
Look at Todd now. Just moments ago, he was floundering and lost.
Come on!
And now he is thriving, in lockstep with the customer and marching onward to success.
I mean, I do appreciate the help. Thank you, smarmy British lady.
Q can never replace the sellers on your team, but it can make them their absolute best.
So extremely excited about this. This is our video conversations as well. where now conversations span across every channel, every interactions that we have, and hopefully this will kick in and completely build the entire stack of solutions for Uniphore. Thank you for having me again. It was a pleasure. Looking forward to catching up with all of you in our booth at some point.